Guys, yeah. I've heard a rumor, okay? There are rumors circling around the rumor mill. And guess what? I have my ear to the streets. I have my ear to the streets, everybody. And I found out something that you guys might not know. I'm just kidding. Everybody's heard this already. I'm actually a little late if you want to be technical. But basically, Kyle Kuzma had a meeting and he stormed in, opened the door, said, Rob, listen, slammed the briefcase on his desk. Rob's like, what's going on, right? Briefcase on the desk. He said, fill it up, I want more cash. He said he expects a sizable contract during this off season. A sizable contract. A sizable extension. I said, did you play a sizable playoff game? Huh? You want a sizable contract? But guys, there's two sides to this. All right, so I'm gonna get into it in this video. We're gonna explore whether he deserves a sizable extension or not, or what we could really do, because we don't have to give it to him. We could, all right? I know a lot of y'all hated on him during the playoffs. I wasn't one of those people. I called him out sometimes. I said, Kuzma, babe, not looking good, babe, but I think, you know, I have my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss it. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to join the Splash Squad. A lot more rumor videos coming now since stuff is starting to pick up again, okay? So there's a lot more videos coming. And also follow my social medias to stay updated on everything I'm doing, videos I'm dropping, and suggest videos to me and things like that. But anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so Kyle Kuzma is eligible to sign an extension to his rookie contract, okay, which he can opt out of in 2021. But like I said in the intro, he wants a sizable amount of money. So now me and you, we're here to decide if he really deserves a sizable amount of money or what we should even do with him, okay? Now I know maybe this last NBA bubble performance for some of you may have been alarming, maybe disappointing, maybe he was underwhelming to you, and I understand that. But let's remember, over his first 2 years with the Lakers, he averaged over 15 points per game, and then, unfortunately for him, but also fortunately for him, LeBron James came. Anthony Davis came. Saved the day, right? Got a ring on our finger, right? But he had to take a back seat, a lesser role, simply because he and LeBron share the same exact position. So he had to take a back seat. Obviously, his numbers suffered for that. Also, he was coming off of an injury, so he literally just jumped straight into the season, really didn't have an off season like that to train, so to speak. And so he was trying to get back into a rhythm and he was off. You know, it's kind of like walking into a church. Some of us may know what I'm talking about. Maybe in like Minnesota or like Idaho or something, and they're just offbeat, you know. Amazing grace, and they just clapping. You're walking in, oh my gosh, I'm not giving offering. Everybody's offbeat. And that's kind of the beat that Kuzma happened to be on. It was just unfortunate timing for him. The rhythm was off. And so he had to find ways to impact the game other than scoring, okay? Because previously that was his main thing, okay? He was slashing to the basket, he was shooting the threes, he was doing his thing. But when he was thrown off his pivot a little bit, he did find ways after some inconsistent games. And he still is a little inconsistent, yes. But he decided to start upping his defense. He also decided to do more off-ball things, okay? So he was cutting on offense. He was moving around, keeping the offense from being stagnant. He was also trying to get more boards and just putbacks, actually. He made himself useful outside of just scoring the ball, which was great. It was helpful. And it's just good to see that he was willing to kind of take that back seat and take the challenge of finding his role within this new team. Now, I know some of you guys are still iffy on him, but let's remember this too. Out of all the people drafted in 2017, he is still the third leading scorer after all that's happened and transpired, taking the smaller back seat in the back of the Ford F-150. He's still the third leading scorer. So that's a pretty good stat, right? So let's talk about his pros and cons, okay? Let's start with the pros first. Once again, number one, he's a scorer, okay? We can see him create his own shot. We've seen him be able to lead an offense before. So when LeBron James isn't on the floor, he can step on, he can create his own offense, create his own shot. One thing about Kuzma, he will cut. So if you're playing against some rock, paper, scissors, you might as well choose rock. He will cut to the basket. You know, he will make himself useful in those ways. He's always trying to get himself involved in the play. So that's a good thing. Also, he never shies away from the big shot. One thing I noticed is that he can be out of rhythm the entire game, and in the last shot, he needs to take it to like tie or win the game. He will take the shot no matter what, which is huge as far as confidence, on a rookie still, and then also the fact that once again he's kind of like out of rhythm. So to still be like, I'm not gonna pass out of this or like ruin the play, I'm going to just shoot the shot. And a lot of times he makes them, so that's a good thing. That's a really great sign. I think another pro is also his willingness. Like I said, his willingness to take the backseat. Obviously he kind of had to, it's LeBron James, but his willingness to find his role in this new roster and never give up, even though he was just struggling to find that rhythm. It was a struggle, and he did not give up. So I think that's a huge thing we need to commend him for. On the defensive side of the ball, he is a lot better. He's actually a decent defender. A lot of people think, he gets crossed and stuff, but he's guarding some top tier people sometimes. You know what I mean? He's guarding some good players, and he was locking down in the playoffs. I was actually proud of the way he was defending. I will say that, especially seeing from where he used to be on defense, which is nowhere. Okay, he was, the crossover happened. He was already backcourt. They crossed him backcourt. It looked bad. So he improved greatly on defense, I will say that. And I think the whole roster change kind of made him more aware. Like, I do need to be in position to get these boards. I need to try to do this instead of just scoring. So it's kind of expanded his involvement on both sides of the ball. And so I think those are all pros that we can attribute to Kyle. Yeah, clap it up. Clap it up. However, stop the clapping. Kyle, babe, you have some cons. First con is you kind of get caught up in these little rivalries and matchups, okay? Whether that's Tyler Hero, whether that's Michael Porter Jr. He kind of thinks he's like a 2K My Career player sometimes, and he'll like take on this matchup, like this rivalry with this person that's my age and cool and hip. I need to beat them on the court. So they'll go down and score. He'll take the ball to the other side and like force it. Which, come on, you're competing with him, but baby, you're on a championship team. Those teams are not competing with you. You gotta have a championship mindset. This is not, the 2K My Career rivalry. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. So that's a con for me. I didn't like that. That was a con for me. Also, the inconsistency is a huge con. You never like to see players go off for one game and then the next game it's just nothing. And then the next game it's like, okay, we measured your impact, maybe off the ball, but the scoring wasn't there. Like, he has so much potential. And so when I saw him like kind of fall off sometimes, it was discouraging. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be our third best player, quote unquote. And so it was kind of hard seeing him underperform in ways that we know he can do better. You know what I mean? In certain games, he could have done more. He could have done better. Let's be honest, playoff Rondo was our third best player, period. And that was supposed to be Kyle Kuzma. So it's kind of hurting him on his case to get like a sizable contract, if you want to say that. So I think a good question to ask as well, as far as does he deserve a sizable extension, whatever, is do we want him as like a long-term asset, or are we trying to trade him? Fine, I said it. Fine, I said it. Are we trying to trade him? Because there are some people up on the trading block. We've been linked in trade rumors with CP3. We haven't been linked with Drew Holiday yet, as far as I know, but I know that the Pelicans have said they're trying to move him. We've been linked with Derrick Rose, trying to trade for those types of players. We can talk about that soon, because some of y'all might be confused. Playoff Rondo, why are we? We'll talk about that. If we're trying to trade for these players, we're gonna need to offer some people up. Okay, Kuzma is a natural choice for that. I think a lot of teams would love to have Kuzma. They've seen what he can do in his role, you know what I mean? Not even when it's limited, just in general. And those were his first couple years in the league. Now he has a little bit of championship experience, playoff experience as well. So I know a lot of teams would love to have him. He's a great trade piece for us. He's a valuable trade piece for us. So if we're trying to trade for somebody, we're gonna kind of need him, I think, okay? Because I'm sorry, we can't throw in Quinn Cook and these people and expect someone of higher value to be returned to us for those types of players. No offense, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You know how the business works. So if we're trying to trade for certain people right now, that's that. Now, if we just want him as a long-term asset, we gotta pay him. We gotta pay him. I don't think it's that much. Right now, this year, he's gonna make $3.5 million. So we can pay him more. He deserves more, in my personal opinion. That's my answer. I think he deserves more. So yes, I say pay him. We don't need to go ham on him. We don't need to break the bank and break our backs, paying him. However, I think he did great. I think he was a little bit underrated as far as just what he provided for us in the playoffs. Maybe it didn't seem like a lot because the scoring wasn't there, but he did do a lot off the ball, and he is still a threat. You know what I mean? We still need those pieces behind LeBron and Anthony Davis, and if they can work on that in the off, even though the off season is super, super short, like 2 months for us. We'll talk about that, but you know, we have a very short off season, but maybe he can kind of increase his impact in his limited role, even though he, you know, he leads a bench squad, so you know, he could be more impactful in general. So if he can figure out how to do that, I think he'd be a very valuable piece to us moving forward. He already knows the system, the chemistry is great. So it really depends on where the Lakers front office mindset is. Are they trading? Are they keeping? We don't know that yet. I don't know that yet. Laker Prophet has not gotten a reading on that yet, but maybe when free agency starts, I'll have a feeling. I'll hop on here and I'll let you know. But that's basically all I got. I want you to let me know though, what you guys think. Do you think they should trade him, or do you think they should give him that sizable extension? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and let me know what else you want to see from me. Make sure you subscribe to join the Splash Squad and follow me on my social medias. Check out my merch, shopsplashsquad.com, and I'll see y'all later.